What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Hope all is well with you guys this morning. Let's get this conversation rolling. What? Somebody that I blocked is a moderator. What's going on, man? Actually, let me send this link to my dude real quick. Let me say what's up real quick, and then I'm gonna have World Breaker Fighting is supposed to join me this morning. Right Hook, what's going on, man? Syndicate J, man. Harold Jones in the building. What's going on? Stanley Bailey, Big Snack Pack, CB Sports TV, Gregory Wide. What's going on, man? Greetings to you as well. Big Snack Packs are coming off them dislikes. Yep, come off them dislikes. Man, these Anthony Johnson, these cats are ridiculous, man. The only people these dudes are hurting are UK real hardcore UK fans, man. Y'all are embarrassing the tar out of these real UK channels. Real UK fans, you guys are embarrassed. You guys are embarrassment, man. If I was y'all, I mean, because we got an American channels that are acting fools, but y'all don't even know boxing. You don't watch boxing. You just like Anthony Joshua's chest. That's what y'all like. Because that shit is ridiculous, dude. $25 for Derek Chisora and Dillian White, and you are supporting that nonsense. $25 for that nonsense. What up, D. Parker? Bottom of Cali. Yeah, man, I got you, man. It took me a while to go through that and get through this, man. Let me do something real quick, man. No worry, man. My pleasure, man. What's going on, World Breaker? I'm sending you this link. There you go, man. I just sent you one, man. Peace to the chat. What's going on, Jay Good? Man, I got cats have been blocked, man. I don't know how so many people got. I know what happened. People get in arguments, man, and I need to check. Man, at least you know what should be killing me, dude. People from the UK. I got this guy left this message. Fanon, boxing channel, but Wilder doesn't even have major support in the United States. First of all, who cares? What difference does that make? What difference does he? First of all, he's got major support in the U.S. He absolutely positively has major support in the U.S. He's on Showtime Boxing. He's on Showtime. That's the second. It's the number one boxing station in the United States, and he is the number one dude on. If it's not pay-per-view, he's the number one guy in boxing in the United States as far as who watches his fights. This dude gets 1 million views a fight. And he does it I did it before anybody really even knew who Anthony Joshua was. It's just dudes be killing me with that stuff, man. Everybody knows who Deontay Wilder is in the United States that pays attention to boxing. What's going on, Gregory White? Let me go through the what's ups though, man. What's up, Cal? The bottom of Cali, Manuel, Dante Watkins. Oh shit, what's going on, Mr. Mister? What's good? Yes, it's what's going on, King 5-3. Yes, sir. Jay, go ahead and tell Nike to send that check in the mail. Yeah, man, they need to pay up, dog. What's going on, Dante Watkins? Emmanuel Mamak in the building. Toot Robinson, man. I see you in the super chat, man. Much love. Thank you, sir. Benjamin Nelson said, what's good for nine? Try for being late. It's good to be back. Sorry for being late. That's all right, man. Hey, anytime is a good time, man. Anytime is a good time to join the chat. It's all good. Let me see, man. Let me make sure that World Breaker Fighting is supposed to jump in with me. That's why I say you sent a note earlier, World Breaker, saying wondering if it was at 10:30, man. But I guess I don't know what time it's going to be. It's going to be right after Trail Boxing Talk. So I'm on Black Fight Fan TV and 78 Sports TV schedule. Salute. Hey, what's going on with you, D-Lo 404? Carly Crush just got the notification. That's what's up. Melvin Jackson. You should have it. Check your email. I definitely sent it. Send another one. Yes, sir. So anyway, man, you may heard and cry yet? No, man. Dude, look funny. You know what'd be funny, dude? I would love to have a conversation. What's going on, Brian Taylor? I would love to have a conversation with Eddie Hearn, man. And it would go something like this. Hey, Eddie, these motherfuckers are stupid, ain't they? Yeah, Fanon, they pretty damn stupid. Yeah, I gotta admit, they kind of stupid. But hey, man, I gotta earn a living, man. I gotta earn a living. So it is what it is. Yeah, they're stupid, but they're my idiots. There's a lot of idiots out in the world, but these are my idiots. And I gotta get these idiots what these idiots want, for them to feel like they're not idiots. This dude with a straight face talking to a channel called Boxing Social with a straight face said he don't care what hardcore boxing fans want. And he knows that he's not making the best fights, but he don't care because he's like, I just want to give the casual fans something that they think is, something that they want. Well, Eddie, how do you know what the casual fans want if they're casual fans? Oh, they want what I tell them they want. You see this circular shit? He only cares what the casual fans want. The people who by death. What's going on, World Breaker?
What's up, man?
I'm chilling, man. Hey, welcome back to the channel, man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah. But no worries, man. Let me finish this thought, man. We go to the comment section and get some questions.
Okay.
So man, this dude says, I'm giving the casual fight fans what they want. And then but who tells the casual fight fans what they need? It's going to be him. So I'm giving them what I tell them they want and fuck the hardcore boxing fans. And yeah, we know Luis Ortiz would be a better fight. We know that would be a better fight. But look, what are they going to do? They're going to give him 500,000. That's the difference between 800,000 pay-per-views and 500,000 pay-per-views. What are they going to do? Give I'm going to do a Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz for 400,000 pay-per-views, or am I going to do Derek Chisora, Dillian White for 800? And then I went and looked, dude. Hey, don't get kicked out of here about the bald version of OJ Simpson, homie. Get thrown up out of here. Man, guess how many pay-per-views that Dillian White versus Joseph Parker did? 400,000 pay-per-views. 450,000 pay-per-views, man. Oh man, this cats be killing. Let me do these real quick super chats real quick, man. Anthony Johnson, much love in the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Toot Robinson, thank you so much. And Anthony Johnson said, here's my pay-per-view money. Salute for now. That's what's up. $25 on an LDBC comment is better than $25 for Dillian White versus Derek Chisora. $25 for that shit. And justified paying $25 because it's not 80. Damn amazing. And also, hey, D Parker, man, much love in the super chat, man. What happened? What message got deleted? Oops. Oh, Ken is his last. He's all right, man. I think the dude was. That's all right. So, hey, man, what's your thoughts on that? On that World Breaker, man. What's on your mind? Oh, Muhammad is the one. Much love. So, what's your thoughts on that World Breaker?
The Dillian White Chisora 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is how I term it. Shit I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch number 3. That's really how I look at it. It's a trash bag fight to keep those 4 titles in circulation in the UK. That's all it is. And at the end of the day, when you look at it, eventually UK fans will get tired of it as well. There's no parity in that particular league, to be honest. And you can only fake the funk for so long before your base exposes you. That's really my thoughts on it. I have no interest in it at all. I lost your sound.
Oh no, it's all right. I put it on mute every time I get on. I put it on mute. I just forgot to take it off. Yeah, man. I watched the fight. I don't have a problem watching it. I thought the Joseph Parker versus Dillian White was entertaining. I thought it was watching Dillian White get put on his ass at the end of that fight was fun to see because he talks all that nonsense. And if it was just a regular fight, I would watch it. I watch a lot of fights that aren't necessarily the top level fights. But when you have somebody talking about, when you have Eddie Hearn actually justifying charging somebody $25 for that fight because they don't know what they're watching and they don't know what a good fight is, it just tells me, man, it's like that is a big push for not just casual fans, because casual fans, there are fans that are very casual about boxing, but they understand what's going on, and you might have to tell them, like, just take a look at the rankings, or tell them who you think, who really is the hot fighters or the best fighters right at the time. But it's just so obvious. I mean, in social boxing social, when he said that, I was like, wow, man. And he said, well, people like in boxing social, that was the channel of, the boxing social. You guys are very intelligent. You're very smart. And, you know who the good fighters are that are out there, but I don't give a shit about you. I care about these dummies out here. They're going to pay $25 a pop for this. And he said, don't you think that people are going to get sick of paying $25 for every fight that they have to watch? I mean, are we going to get to the point where everything in the UK is going to cost $25 to watch? He said, well, no, but hey, eventually if people stop paying the money, then hey, then maybe it'll change. But until then, we're going to get you for $25 every time we turn on a fight. And then you got the UK dudes who come around to the channels, the US channels like mine, and then brag about getting taken advantage of. Dude, this is Dillian White versus Derek Chisora. You're about to pay $25 for. And Eddie Hearn said, it's not like it's the US where it's $80. That's just ludicrous. $80? You right. $80 for Derek Chisora versus $80 for Derek Chisora versus Dillian White would be it would be 3 times stupid, right? Because $25 is stupid to pay that for that fight. It would be 3 times as stupid to pay $80. But is it worth paying would you rather pay $80 for Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin, or $25 for Derek Chisora versus Dillian White? At least when you have the Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez, at least you can lie to yourself that those are the 2 best guys in that weight class. At least there's some possibility that might be the case. But when you have Dillian White, Derek Chisora, and here's the other things, and I'm going off on this a little bit for a while, man, but I looked at the schedule in the UK. Between now and the end of the year, between November 10th and the end of the year, there are 4 more pay-per-views. There is Usyk versus Tony Bellew. Why in the world would I pay $25 for Usyk versus Tony Bellew? That's like asking me to watch Soroy Vasai versus Estrada. It's not even as good a fight as Roy Vasai versus Estrada for $25. And then you have Dillian. Then you have Josh Warrington. Now this is BT. Josh Warrington versus Carl Frampton. And then on the same night, you have Dillian White versus no, actually it's Friday. Yeah, same night as Dillian White versus I can't even remember. I have a hard time remembering his name. Derek Chisora, and you get and then the last one is Wilder versus Fury. Only one of those are worth $25, dog. And it ain't and it's Wilder Fury. Hey, let me go to these super chats real quick, man. It just amazes me how these cats brag about getting suckered. Gregory White said, unfortunately, the Matchroom base has proven that they don't have 2 neurons to rub together between all of them, all 80K in attendance. But it's just going to start. That's just going to start backfiring. I mean, World Breaker Fighting? Do you remember when HBO used to put pay-per-views on every week? It seemed like every fight that they wanted to put on was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, they had the juice at that time to do that. But it's hard to talk about dead entities now. They're out of there. I wanted to go back real quick on the quality of fight that the UK fans accept. It's kind of like bragging about your first horrible night in jail. That's really what it is to me. You know, you're bragging about a low quality fight because you don't know any better. You're bragging about the conditions and levels of boxing in your country because you don't know any better, and you have to have some sense of national pride. A lot of British channels and British individuals that I communicated with in the chats really have no scope of what true big boxing is. And so, you know, the Callum Smiths and the you know, the Lance McGillicuddies of the world, that's big time to them. And so at this point, I got to a point where, hey, man, you just roll with what you got. When your guys get blazed over here in the United States, that's when you guys shut up. And that's how I take it.
Hey, real quick, it's got a super chat. I gotta sell blood. I gotta tell Retro Boxing something. Super chat, man. D-Lo 44, man. Much love. He said it's odd that Eddie is concerned with US pay-per-views, which are rare, but has no issue charging UK fans for bland fights. I guess they don't know any better. Oh, they know better. And those cats are starting to push back, man. There's more and more articles I'm seeing out of the UK pointing that out. Like, are we gonna have to pay pay-per-view for everything? Like, they talked, there was an article that came out where they specifically said that everything's been flipped on its head. That now in the United States, you're getting a bunch of fights that you don't have to pay for. But in the UK, like the UK used to make fun of the United States for how ridiculously expensive it was to watch good fights. Right. And that was a criticism that was being made by UK fans of American boxing. And now how it's completely flipped on its head. And how there are very few pay-per-views in the United States, but every halfway decent fight you watch on pay-per-view in the UK. And Eddie Hearn justified it by saying how much they're paying the boxers. That, hey man, if you know, we want you to pay for it. But he's also talking about how much the boxers are getting paid and talking about how Sky Sports and these guys don't want to pay the licensing fees. So until those guys want to pay the licensing fees, that, you know, that the fans have to pay for it. But also included in that is the fact that Eddie Hearn's getting paid off that. But Eddie Hearn put it on the boxers. He didn't put it on the fact that he's making more money by doing pay-per-views. So if you just look at it and you say, okay, well, what is he? Sorry, man, I got a little mosquito.
The mosquitoes will get bigger, bro. You'll see.
Yeah, oh man, they're huge out here in Texas, man. Anyway, so he goes off talking about that, man. And I'm like, man, you basically are saying, like, if you look at what he says, and you can change the words around, but to, you know, that's what you call reading comprehension, where you can take what somebody says and then tell him what he would think about something else. So if the boxers are if they have pay-per-view because their casual fans will buy it, and hardcore fans, and you don't care about hardcore, you saying, I don't care what the hardcore fans want. I'm going to tell, and you're the one that tells casual fans what they want. Then you're saying, I want to give it to them because I get paid more money. That's what they said. You know, it's just, and it's true. I mean, it's obviously the case, man. But hey, you know, keep getting suckered, man. Now, Blood, my dude, I got to tell you something. Much love in the super chat, dude. You know, one of the biggest worms on YouTube is using your quotes, dog. Dog, you gave him food. You gave him food, Retro. You are now a reputable US channel that is going to subscribe to the Zone. But let me go to my man Retro Boxing. If you guys keep that knowledge coming, big bro, that's what's up, man. Retro, you gave him food, dog. You feeding them. You feeding the bums, dog. Everybody, man, please go check out Retro Boxing and Documentaries channel. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe because he is feeding the poor. You got these dudes running the blood like you an idiot if you love it, but if you give them 2 inches worth of something, you become a reputable channel, dog.
Are you talking about the fig?
No. I didn't. Oh, I don't want none. I don't.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't pay attention to him, honestly.
This dude is actually he did a video that was talking about the most haunted gyms in the UK. It was a complete nut. But no, dog, it's this other dude, SI, his initials are SI. And I looked and I saw something pop up. I don't know how he came up, man. Also, man, Gregory Wise said paying for Bellew Usyk fight is like voting in the US without a defined agenda, shake my head. Yeah, by the way, young Merv, the Cup Man, said that he was happy today because he voted. Congratulations to you for voting. My parents are still mad because I refused to vote for Hillary Clinton. Sorry, I get my channel shut down because I refused to vote for her. I didn't vote for Trump either.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Do you think these channels that parasitically exist off of our channels, do you think they have the same mentality as a cuckolded husband?
Say that again.
Basically, cuckold channels. I mean,
I know what a cuckold is.
Yeah, I know.
Say
but they live vicariously through us because they can't be us, or they can't be these guys that they hate. Do you think it's secretly admiration?
Let me tell you what I think it is. I think it's I think it is I think it's a lack of creativity more than anything. I think it's a lack of creativity. And it's a lack of it's laziness.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're lazy, and I don't think I think they're lazy, and I don't think they're very creative. There can be envy there, but I think there's envy. If you really touched people and asked them, like you really knew what they're thinking, I think there's more envy around. The envy is just around. But for somebody to constantly make videos, like they will say, like they'll make a video in response to retro, they make a video in response to 78, they make a video in response to Black Fight Fan TV. They take what you say and then they debate what you say. That is using you, like you said, as parasitic or as a jump start. It means that you can constantly get your source of inspiration, right? So we are their source of creative inspiration. We are their muse. Without us giving them something to talk about, they won't know where to start. And that the essence of that is a lack of creativity.
But does it also have its basis in a lack of knowledge as well? Because I haven't heard a lot of knowledge, and I don't listen to these. I'm just starting to hear my name pop up more and more from people saying that people are saying stuff. I guess I'm doing something, and I'm not really, in my opinion, but I guess I'm starting to do something. Did I lose you?
No. I was waiting for you to finish.
No, I was finished. Basically, what I'm saying is, when I have listened to some of these channels just to get a perspective, I don't ever hear boxing knowledge expressed. Any kind of concept of what boxing is usually anger, hate, and trying to veil it under the guise of boxing knowledge and understanding when there is none available. So that's how I'm looking at it. And so I touched on it a little bit a couple of days ago, and I actually was trying to do a video, but my live stream wasn't going correctly. But the cuckold mentality is the only way that I can liken it to. Someone that's living vicariously through because they can't do it themselves. That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I guess that I don't know them well enough to know. I don't know what's inside their head, so I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you that. But I know that there are certain guys that I do think are fairly knowledgeable about the sport of boxing. Right? I believe that. I've listened to them long enough to where I would give them enough credit to say that they understand a good amount about the history of boxing. They understand a good amount about who's fought. They can hold hold an intelligent conversation about boxing.
But then their biases.
Hold on, man. Let's not cut each other off.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. You got a delay.
Okay. But here's the thing, man. And you'll see this, like it's hard work to get up and talk about boxing every day. When I get up in the morning, I know that I want to be consistent, that I want to talk about boxing at 10 o'clock. Like if you look at what Black Fight Fan TV does on Trail Boxing Talk, and I'm gonna use him as an example because I think he's one of the best guys on the internet to do this. He is very, very well. He's very disciplined about what he does. He knows exactly what he wants to talk about. right? He probably has like 4 bullet points where he'll go, I'm going on this point, then I'm going to go to this point, I'm going to go to this point, I'm going to go to this point. And it takes a certain amount of, and he goes out and he talks to people. You clearly know this dude he's read the boxing news for the day. He knows what he wants to talk about. And he thinks about what he's doing. That's a lot of work. And but it's a lot easier to do what that dude out in Taiwan does. That's easy. Your research is watch somebody else's work and then complain about it. It's reactionary. It's very easy to do. It's the easy way out. You never take a point of your own. You never stand on a belief that you have. You just raise an issue with what somebody else had. There's another guy who's got IQ in his video, and this is the guy that I'm talking about specifically. I think that dude is a bright guy, but he never makes a point of his own. It's always about this guy being wrong and that guy being wrong. Or how can you say and that's the laziness of it. If you always are walking down the middle of the road and what do you think in and of yourself? If there is no blood or is no retro boxing, if there is no world breaker fighting, if there is no 78 Source TV, what would you talk about? You would have to talk about the news and give you your opinion. And then somebody will stand there and listen to what you say and then continue to argue about it. That to me is a lack of talent. That's a lack of creativity. That's a lack of talent. For what Black Fight Fan TV does, that takes talent. 78 Sports TV, that takes talent. You have to be able to without a script, right? Some people say, oh, some of your videos are blabbing, you're blabbing. Yeah, okay, sometimes I do. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes my stream of thought isn't as direct as it should be, and it doesn't come off like it should. However, I can do it. It could be hit or miss, but I'm not relying on these guys to come up with my content. I'm not relying on these guys to tell me, to give me arguments. The people that argue, like there's another dude that comes in that you referred to as Parasitic, right? There's another guy. Every argument the dude makes comes from Eddie Hearn. Every one of them. It's like, I know what your arguments are going to be because they're Eddie Hearn's arguments. You're not being creative. You're not justifying what Anthony Joshua's doing based off some understanding that you have independent, objective understanding of what the facts are. You're just taking what Eddie Hearn says and repeating it and then trying to ask somebody else to defend it. We all hear what Eddie Hearn says. I know what he said. You're just saying what he said. And you're taking it as fact because you're lazy, you're not very creative, nor are you very talented in this particular area. Maybe you're a very good carpenter, maybe you know how to, maybe you can build, a house or some shit better. But you're just not very good at it. And you got to rely on other people to do the work for you. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, again, I don't listen to these people very often. Probably the last time I actually listened to somebody was about 3 months ago. I just keep hearing my name pop up all of a sudden. I'm getting a customary dislike every video, so I know it's there. I just find it hilarious that when I see the titles in certain descriptions, because they'll pop up in my YouTube cache. These guys, the titles are funny. They always do hashtag LDBC. Or they're trying to align themselves and attach themselves to what we're doing because there's nothing there. I can't believe that a person that legitimately has their own platform would need to attach themselves and complain about another forum. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I mean, I get up every day. I don't know what I'm going to talk about when I get up in the morning. I just do it. Can I plan? Yeah. I could plan. I could plan methodically, but that's not fun to me. I just like to take things for what they are. So you pretty much you can't gauge me because each day is different. Each moment is different. I kind of feel certain people are the same way. But a lot of these guys, they're planning and they're in their little funky trailers. smell like cools and malt liquor or whatever they doing, devising a plan to siphon off what we're talking about. So I didn't want to get on it. I was just, I just wanted to ask you a question real quick on it and see what your thoughts were, because I know you get a lot of hate. And I see it every now and then. And I don't get it. You come from a logical, intelligent perspective about boxing, and still you receive disfavor from the crowd. It kills me. I'm done.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I get a lot more. I mean, it is what it is, man. I get a lot more positivity than I get negativity, and I like talking to people, man. Disagreement is not a big issue, but I mean, we're in a very niche. We're in a niche market, man. It's very niche. I mean, we got 200 people in the chat right now. It's cool to talk to 200 people, but there are bigger channels, and it's I don't take myself too seriously. Cats can disagree with me. It's cool. Fuck Eddie Hearn. What do you want me to say? I think the dude is a line. I think promoters are a necessary evil. And the best that you can get out of me on a promoter is that he's a necessary evil. And people that want to defend necessary evils, continue to do it, man. But you're always going to lose that argument because it's in the structure of what they do. Eddie Hearn is trying to get your money. That's his job. He wants your money. And he wants to get as much of your money as consistently as he possibly can get it. That's his job. And since that's his job, that's what it's going to wind up. But let me get back to this chat real quick, man. Tony Snowflakes, what happened? Why you get deleted, man? Oh yeah, I don't know about that dude. I watched that dude for a little bit of time, man, but I don't know. You talking about that dude? Nah. I mean, there's a bunch of cats that fall into that, man. Retro Boxing said, yeah, but in the past 2 days, I've gained close to 200 UK subs. We will see how they feel when I talk Ashra. You know that, dog. You know that. Blood. Retro sold us out, dog. Retro, they're going to jump right off your channel when you do that. You didn't sell us out. I'm just fucking around with that. But once you said you were signing up for the Zone, dog, they came pouring. Yeah, the Zone. I would sign up for the Zone. I love the World Boxing Super Series, dude. That's quality work right there, man. That's the thing about it. I mean, it is. That's a good show that's on. World Boxing Super Series provides the United States with something that they did not already have. That's just not the case, though, with Canelo Alvarez, Rocky Fielding. It's not the case with Eddie Hearn trying to sign U.S. fighters and making it hard for unification to happen. He talked about how all of the middleweights are over there at on the Zone, and how if you want to unify the belts, then you got to go to the Zone. How's that helping us, man? That's the same situation we were in with HBO. Demetrius Andre was more than likely going to fight on HBO. Daniel Jacobs was with HBO. And both of those dudes, who can fuck about either one of those dudes, really? But, that's the situation we were in before. But the thing that would have me support the Zone is giving me something I didn't already have. And I didn't have the ability to watch a World Boxing Super Series. And that's a great product that somebody other than Eddie Hearn developed, which he would never do, which is to have all of the belts in a weight class. The fighters have to fight whoever wins. That shit is the antithesis to matchroom boxing. That's the antithesis to what he does. That's the exact opposite of what he does. He wouldn't have put no shit like that on the Zone. He ain't even part of the Zone. But hey, they did that one. That is worth the time that I stream. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, let me go back. I hope I didn't miss the super chat, man. Gregory Wise said, say it for 9. Eddie is a sack of manure. Man, those promoters that's what they are, man. Reggie Owens said, we have to be unapologetic about the truth, let the babies cry and suffer from cognitive dissonance. Yeah, man, it's tough when what you believe and what the truth is opposite. That's what, for people, cognitive dissonance is. You cannot hold two competing thoughts in your mind at the same time, right? So, like, you cannot think that Eddie Hearn is the greatest thing that happened to boxing, and then think that something he's doing is bad for boxing. So you either have to change your mind that Eddie Hearn is the greatest thing in the world, or you're going to have to, or you're going to have to say that what he does is good for boxing in some way, shape, or form. And accepting that $25 pay-per-views are better than 80, well, at least it's not 80. But at the same time, get on people who get to watch good fights for free. Every one at Deontay Wilder's fights have been good fights. I've never seen a boring Deontay Wilder fight. Not one. Every one of them that I watched, I was alert and interested the whole fight as long as it lasted. And you know you can get a knockout all the way through the end of the fight. But it is what it is. Let me get to this. Bo One said, I got a question. Has Eddie ever tried to mention the word undisputed at all? Yeah, absolutely he did. Bo One, when he was talking about Deontay, when he was before that $50 million offer happened with Deontay Wilder. Now it's not all about that. You know, he ain't said it in a while. I'll put it that way. And Anthony Joshua used to say, remember they said road undisputed? They don't say road undisputed anymore. Now they say road to a realistic negotiation. I will fight Deontay Wilder if he's realistic. If he's realistic. Carlos Valdez says Triple G ducking Charlo. What are your thoughts on that, World Breaker?
Triple G is ducking anything that looks even tan or athletic. That's what Triple G is doing. Triple G doesn't want to deal with anybody that can punch faster, hit harder, and can outmaneuver him. So I think Triple G is definitely ducking Charlo. Canelo's ducking Charlo. These guys don't want that business. They don't want that business at all. And you can tell in their actions. Canelo jumped to 68 shit before he could even rest a belt on his waist. You know, and quiet son. And Triple G's been silent for a little while, but now there's talks that he's going to join the zone. For what end? For what end? He's not going to get I don't think he's going to get the Canelo fight again. Why would Canelo give him an opportunity? I mean, he's beat him twice. There's no upside, in my opinion, unless you just want another bad fight. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, I can see why Danny Jacobs was signed with the Zone, because they're paying people for not taking risks. He's got to go somewhere. I don't think he's going to go to. I don't think he's going to go to Showtime. I don't think he's going to go to Showtime. I don't think he's going to go to ESPN. ESPN is probably not very interested in him. And there are no middleweights over there. There are no middleweights over there with ESPN. Lawrence Williams said, FYI, so Sullivan Barrera and Shawnee Monahan tomorrow on Facebook. That's what's up, man. I have a hard time getting Facebook fights, man. Abel Sanchez has been telegraphing that duck for over a year. Oh, you're not going to get any of those guys to fight. You're not going to get any of those guys to fight Charlo, from what I can see. I don't anticipate any of them doing it. It's like I don't see anybody fight. I don't see these guys fighting Errol Spence. But will y'all please, I'm going to tell you right, well, whoever the fuck keeps trying to compare Errol Spence Jr. to Anthony Joshua, please stop it. That is not the same thing, dude. If Errol Spence Jr. turned down $80 million guaranteed to unify, if he already held all three belts and turned down $80 million, $50 million guarantee that he asked for, I would be calling him every kind of duck under the sun. But please stop trying to push off that shit onto Errol Spence Jr. Dude, that dude didn't do anything remotely like that. And Terrence Crawford did not call for the fight. So please stop it. But people keep on pushing it. Stop trying to do that shit. It's not the same thing. It's not remotely the same thing. If the day that Bob Arum gets on there and said, I made an offer to Al Heyman for $50 million guaranteed and 50% of the upside to fight Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford turned it, and Errol Spence Jr. turned it down. Or rather, Terrence Crawford would have to say this. Terrence Crawford would have to get on, you'd have to be able to show me a video that said yeah, my team, we offered Errol Spence Jr. $50 million guaranteed, and he turned it down. And then offered me $500,000 to take the fight. But he wouldn't. And then he turned it down and went and fought his mandatory. Because the WBA all of a sudden, because the IBF all of a sudden said, oh, you got 5 minutes left to sign this deal with Terrence Crawford. If something like that happened, I would be all on Anthony, on Errol Spence Jr. saying that was the case. This is Anthony Joshua's duck of Deontay Wilder is the biggest duck in the history of boxing. There's nothing close to it. I mean, that shit's a bigger duck than Riddick Bowe taking the WBC belt and putting it in the trash can. Dude, there's no comparison. It's literally the biggest duck in the history of boxing. Scrap House Boxing, subscribe, man. Subscribe to Scrap House Boxing. For real, it's the biggest duck. Somebody name me a duck worth, somebody deduct $80 million, ducked out of an offer of $80 million for 2 fights, one for 50, for the undisputed championship. Not did somebody take one fight over another fight and they're basically fighting for the same amount of money for a guy that didn't even ask for the fight explicitly. It's just not the same thing, man. Now, do I want to see the fight? I want to see the fight. But come on, man. That's an unfair. You are doing a disservice to Deontay Wilder by comparing those two things. Because you're just making it like, that's just a business decision, you know. They fight on different, they fight on different networks. Alexander Wilson, Tim Smith of the VP of PBC said AJ and Wilder will happen when Heyman wants it to happen, so both sides don't want the fight right now. Both sides. Absolutely. Both sides don't want the fight right now. But you ain't ducking somebody that doesn't want to fight you. I mean, how's that? How am I ducking somebody that ain't trying to fight me? That's like I got a beef with you. And people are like, Fanon and World Breaker Fighting ain't fighting after school. Fanon don't want that fight. Well, shit, World Breaker Fighting don't want that fight either. I'm sitting here having a hot dog with the dude at the lunch table. Talking about what you doing after school. Oh, I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to do my homework too. See you later. And y'all acting like somebody ducked a fight that wasn't happening. Oh, seriously, man. If you're going to put the pressure, I've said this, man. And I understand the politics of it, like the way what Anthony. Anyway, man, I am done with that shit. Just it's not the same thing, dude. Don't let Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn off the hook by comparing it to what like Jared Hearns and Jaime Munguia's situation. Let me get these super chats and let me roll a question to my man World Breaker. There's another one I missed. Bo one, I got a question. Okay, has ever tried to mention Undisputed at all? Okay, that was, and then I think did I get that? Hey, Alexander Wilson, man, much love and support, Anthony Wilson. All right, so did I say Anthony Wilson? Anthony Wilson. So I'm sorry, Alexander Wilson. Forgive me, man. Anyway, man, at least that's how I see the situation, man. I'm gonna look for a question up in here. Is Barry Hearn right that if they waited 2 years for Wilder Fury, the fight will be worth $200 million? American Patriot said, is Barry Hearn right that if they wait for 2 years, then Wilder and Fury will be worth $200 million? What are your thoughts on that, World Breaker?
Repeat the question one more time. I didn't get all of it.
Is Barry Hearn right that if they, being Wilder and Joshua, wait for 2 years, will the fight be worth $200 million?
I don't think so, because Anthony Joshua is going to keep fighting trash bags. That's really what it is. And so he is devaluing himself based off of the competition level that he hasn't risen to. Everything's repeat. Oh, sorry. There you go, son. My little boy's under my desk. I apologize. But anyway, Anthony Joshua was devaluing himself by fighting the same competition repeatedly. Deontay Wilder is actively seeking the best fights possible. Eventually, no matter what, old media trying to suppress that or not, it's going to get out the fact that Deontay Wilder is consistently trying to take the best fights. We're going to push that narrative, and the Eddie Hearn spin is going to fade away. I don't think it's a $200 million fight unless Anthony Joshua takes a risk before then. That's how I look at it. I got to get into this morning. I'm not on fire yet, man. You're muted.
You don't got to be on fire, man. Just do you. You fine.
Nah, I just need some coffee.
Nah, man, this you all good, man. Hey, man, sometimes, hey, man, like Coach, I gonna get to these two super chats second, man. Coach Sheldon Harris, man, said something like about being intense, man. You got to be, in my opinion, is be real, man. Sometimes you in a mellow mood, sometimes you in a mood to go off on something. You know what I mean? Blood Retro Bison is the king of that, man. Ain't nobody go to the roof like Blood does, like Retro does. But then, man, sometimes, man, he's just chill, or sometimes he's very, very solemn. I think it's just, honesty pays off, man. Just be you. Do what you feel.
Nah, it's just it is that. It's just it's the morning. I'll get there.
You're good. Yeah. Hey, Callie Enigma says, salute to Fanon. Duck Room is embarrassing. Lillian White and Antoine Johnson are disgusting. Yeah, man, them dudes. I mean, Dillian White's got to do. Dillian White is doing what Dillian White should do. There's not a C fighter in the history of boxing is getting. Dillian White got the best promoter that he could possibly have, dude. Because that dude's getting paid shit he does not deserve. That is a B-level fighter that ain't done jack shit in his career, but yet gets treatment in the UK as if this cat is some killer. Dillian White's best moment is losing to Anthony Joshua. This cat just got put on his ass against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, who in my opinion lost to Huey Fury, a Huey Fury that looked like crap versus Pulev. I don't think Dillian White versus Deontay Wilder goes 7 rounds. It's a matter of when he's going to get his head knocked off. He's not a very good fighter, but for some reason, because he's the road dog of Anthony, he's like Tito Jackson. Shit, he's like Tito Jackson. This one, Anthony Joshua and Dillian White are like Jermaine Jackson and Tito Jackson. The second best in the group and the 5th best in the group. Jermaine Jackson he had a little second Are You Serious album for a hot second. So people were like, nah, Michael's the best.
Would you think more like Freddie Jackson and Luther Vandross? I wouldn't even compare it to Jackson's. It's messed up. You know how I'm comparing them.
Because I think that Freddie Jackson's got more talent. I think that's unfair to Freddie Jackson, dog. Freddie Jackson on his own right could sing a ballad. And Anthony Joshua ain't no Luther Vandross, dog. He ain't no dude. He's no same-sex relationship type dude that will have half the black women in the country fooling themselves. Man, them motherfuckers used to get hot about Luther. I'm like, dude, hey. Luther don't like you, baby. Luther ain't into you, okay? Get up out of here. You're like, oh no.
Those ambiguous songs.
Luther was like Biggie Smalls, but really the women liked him, dude. Women love Luther Vandross. That dude, Anthony Joshua ain't no Luther Vandross. Anyway, man, let me get this. Carlos Valdez says, hey, man, appreciate what you do. Great job. Do you have a Patreon or something? Looking forward to becoming a member. Keep doing what you're doing. Yes, I have a Patreon. Do not subscribe to my Patreon quite yet. I've got my content coming up there, man. I'm going to try to load a bunch of content at the same time so that when I start putting it out, when I say that it's there, then there's going to be some time you can spend in there, man. Instead of like, I'm not going to bring them all out at one time. I'm going to do maybe like 5 or 6 of them, put them up there, and then come up with just a flat Patreon rate, and we're going to do that, man. But I appreciate your support, man. But yeah, man, I'm definitely trying to make the move to that, man, because I want to talk about some things related to RWS that I can't talk about on this channel, And I don't want to mix the entertainment portion of that, because boxing is entertainment, with the rest of it. Let me go back to these questions. I thought I saw something. Oh, Antonio Mendoza said it's extremely annoying when these Hearn fanboys come in the comment sections trying to tell us how we should want to watch our boxing when there is no DAZN in the UK. Exactly. That's when you know you're an Eddie Hearn fanboy. When you're in the UK and you got an opinion about DAZN, when you trying to prop up DAZN, you're in the UK. That's like me trying to prop up Sky Sports. You're not going to even have me. It'll be occasionally, like almost necessary in the subject for me to bring up Sky Sports or bring up BT. I don't watch those. I never get it. How do they even cross my mind? Why are you talking about DAZN? DAZN, you're not getting that. You're getting ripped off. Like you're the one. You got to pay $25 for a fight that I can get for free, and you're bragging about that. What's wrong with you? And I'm gonna get it for free, and I mean extra free, because the truth of the matter is, and I say this to Retro, the streams are just as good as DAZN. The streams that you can get for free are every bit as good as the streaming app DAZN. There's no reason whatsoever to pay for it. You get it on the same you get it on the same medium, your computer or your phone. You get just as good a quality. You get the same or less buffering, the same amount of buffering. There literally is no reason to buy DAZN. Literally no reason to buy DAZN except for maybe the replays, the fact that you can go back in there and watch them again. But dude, why would I ever want to watch Dillian White versus Joseph Parker twice? No reason. Anyway, man, let me move on, man. Yeah, I don't get that, man. Brad Peterson, I agree, Fanon, but White needs to stay in the lane and close his mouth and act like a C fighter. Yeah, he's just getting over, man. But hey, man, more power to him getting over. There's other C fighters that are getting over, and I'm gonna say this to Cali Enigma. Jaime Munguia is getting over. Y'all believe Jaime Munguia is the truth? Jaime Munguia gonna crash and burn, dog. As soon as he's in there with somebody his own size that can box, man. Jaime Munguia is gonna fall, dude. He's gonna be the new Francisco Pachado. He's gonna be the new Francisco Pachado. Remember Francisco Pachado? Used to fight, was a guy that was gonna be the king of the world. Little dude, gonna be the next Oscar De La Hoya. Fizzled because he didn't have any heart. Jaime Munguia got heart, but Jaime Munguia is not a very skilled fighter, man. He's a really big dude who's fighting smaller dudes. He's 19 years old. If his skill level does not increase significantly, that dude's going to he's not Canelo Alvarez, man. He's not on that level, at least from what I can see. Even Tito more than Marlon Jackson. Oh, no, man. Marlon Jackson could dance, man. Y'all doing Marlon wrong. Oh, come on. Oh, Yashin Benjamin said, come on, Fanon, give Lillian some credit. He deserves those checks because he's a fall guy for AJ. Yeah, he's earning his money. He is. He's a good, solid backup dancer for Anthony Joshua. And he's something that allows that UK heavyweight circle jerk to keep going. Carl Stakam, Anthony Joshua. Carl Stakam, Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora, Dillian White. Dillian White is going to fight Carl Stakam eventually. Joseph Parker got thrown in there. Joseph Parker, Anthony Joshua. Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora. And they're going to, around and around that block is going to go, dude. Around and around it goes. Let me get something real quick. Oh, Alexander Wilson said, I feel like illegal streaming is stealing. If I did it, I would feel like I'm stealing from boxers and trainers. That's why I pay for streaming. No, it's not stealing. They're getting paid. It's not pay-per-view. I'm not stealing from them.
So be it.
I'm paying my internet bill. I'm not stealing. You stealing from me if you ask me to pay $25 for that shit? No. Especially if I already got the sub. There's an argument for DAZN. Okay, am I stealing from DAZN? Maybe. There ain't no argument about HBO because I already pay an HBO subscription. So HBO giving me a garbage pay-per-view? No. It ain't nothing on the internet for free. But hey, man, so be it. I'm a bad boy. Your internet bill goes to your ISP. Exactly. It does. Thank you very much. I'm paying. I didn't get away for free. I had to pay them. But here's the thing, man. I'm as good at justifying my wrongness as other people are justifying their wrongness. You're telling me it's a championship fight when it's not a championship fight. It's a title. It is just you're just a title holder, dude. If you want to charge me for that, I'm not paying for it. And it's right on the internet. I didn't put it up there. Go talk to the people that put that shit up there, dude. I think, see, watch me justify my wrongness. That's like saying if a woman walks out the house without a shirt on, that I raped her. I didn't, dog. I didn't touch her. I just looked. It was out there. What am I supposed to do? I'm a creep because it's hanging out there. Find a way to keep it from being on the internet, dude. If it's on the internet and I pay for the internet, I get to watch it as long as it's not illegal. You got any little funny kiddie stuff on there? I don't need that on my computer. If I see it, I'm report. If I even get a sense of it, I'm going to report it. But if it's not breaking the law, it ain't breaking the law. It's on the internet. What can I do? It's not my fault. It was just there. I didn't know. I thought, hey, man, I thought since I paid my internet bill and I watched the ads that were on it, the ads that kept popping up, that's what I'm doing. I'm watching the ads. So somebody's getting paid. But it's, it's a sad thing. How you feel about that world breaker fighting? Are you stealing?
I'm stealing like a motherfucker. And I have no problem with it. Joseph Kennedy stole. He bootlegged. The mob bootlegged. It is what it is. This is the thing. If it's not high quality, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm either not going to watch it or I'm not going to pay for it. So either way, I'm going to pay for Wilder Fury because that's the first heavyweight match that's interesting to me in the last 20 years. Okay. I'm going to pay for things that I deem high quality, interesting. The Zone so far, I've seen 4 cards of the Zone so far. And they have been low ball trash. And anybody that tells me, oh, they have great cards and it's all fun and dandy, you've never seen a boxing match before. You could go to a Golden Gloves tournament and get higher quality skill displayed. That's really how I feel. So I don't mind taking from someone that's willing to take from me with no qualms about
it. Alexander Wilson, dude, you're wrong. Illegal streaming is illegal. Yes, illegal streaming is illegal. It's in the definition. Illegal. You called it. If it's illegal streaming, then it is illegal, right? You can't stream pictures of underage naked folk, right? That's illegal to stream that. But I'm not streaming it. They're streaming it. I'm receiving it. And that is not why they're getting rid of net. They want to get rid of net neutrality. They want to get rid of net neutrality so that they can make something that's a public utility into a private utility. So they can charge you more money for the same thing and stifle competition by limiting the amount of broadband availability there are to competitors. It got nothing to do with stopping people from streaming things. Got nothing to do with copyright violations. Because that's what you're saying. You're basically that's not why they're getting rid of it. And they're not going to get rid of it. It's not going to happen, dude. They trust me. They're not going to get rid of that. They're not concerned about that, man. They're concerned about being able to have people go to their applications and not go to other people's applications. And you don't think they'll choke out the Zone? Net neutrality gets into effect. Don't expect to see the Zone. You'll see the Zone. You will see the Zone spinning and spinning and spinning because matter of fact, this net neutrality will be bad for the Zone because say, for example, that Comcast doesn't own it. Comcast owns ESPN, and I'm not going through who owns what. Say Comcast owns ESPN, right? Then ESPN is going to go through, and you're going to be able to watch that seamlessly. If somebody else out of the country owns the Zone, then every 5 seconds you're going to see it spinning because they're going to, what do you call that? Throttling. They'll throttle it. and they're like, no, we're only going to allow a certain amount of bandwidth for that particular application, and you're not going to want to get the application because it'll keep spinning, because it'll keep buffering. Net neutrality will get rid of something like the zone because it's not owned by a major U.S. corporation that owns the internet service provider. That's not, net neutrality is not good. Is not good for that. And if you have Comcast cable and you're streaming it through Comcast cable, they're not gonna tighten up their own network and limit the streaming coming in, limit the bandwidth, because that's what it's about. It's about the bandwidth. Right, Fanon, please give me a stream, stream so I can stream. Hey man, you got to check me the day of, dog. And just look up 10 best sports streaming sites. It changes all the time. Just Google that, and it'll come up. You can do, that's easy research. Anytime you're looking for that, you just Google it.
Can I add
best streaming sites, because they get shut down, they get changed, but there'll always be an article there that will point you to the best ones, and then go through the list and see what one works for you. And it'll change from time to time. One that works this year might not work next year, but trust me, the same people that put it up will put another one up. Trans Plumber, what's going on, man? It says salute Fanon Don. Hey man, I appreciate you, man. Alza Winston, do you and Fanon, thanks you for the $5. Hey man, I do thank you for the $5. Dude, he supports the channel, man. Alexander Wilson is respectful. He doesn't necessarily, we don't always agree. We actually rarely agree. But hey, man, I appreciate what you're saying, man. I appreciate you doing. The money's going to go to good use. I appreciate it. I have thrown motherfuckers off for after Super Chat. So it's not just that. It's that you're respectful. Alexander Wilson says, okay, man, I'm going to give you one more, dog. The UFC has shut down lots of stream sites like Justin TV with illegal actions. Yeah, that's the streaming site. It's not me. They can't sue me for seeing something that's up free. It's the person that is going to actually buy it, take it, and stream it to other people and put ads up. But as you see, I stream every UFC fight that I watch. I don't buy them. I stream them because I got Google Fiber. I have to go somewhere in order to, I have to find somebody's house to do a pay-per-view for Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, because I got Google Fiber. I literally am going to buy it for my dad. Like, hey, Dad, you want to see it? Hey, I'll buy your pay-per-view, and I'll pay for my dad to watch it, because I want to support it, and I want to make sure I want to put my 2 cents in on that. But when I actually am going to watch it, I might have to stream because I got Google Fiber. It's ridiculous, man. Hopefully Showtime pay-per-views available on Google Fiber. What's your thoughts on that? What's a UK Panzer fan for the same recycle AJ fights? Yep, Dale McCrae, pretty much. So you got anything else on your mind, World Breaker, man? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, how do you guys feel about state of boxing in the sense of fights? When are the best fights going to happen? How do you guys feel about that? That's really what's on my mind. I know yesterday we had Kurt Sugar is my co-host on the show, and we had Lawrence Williams. So they went back and forth yesterday. If you guys want to check it out, just go to World Breaker Fight, and I think it's titled "What Happened, Fanon?" Oh,
you're talking.
Okay. I thought something popped up. No. I'm looking at you. I'm sorry. I was Lawrence Williams and Curtis Anderson on the stream, and I asked these guys, a lot of questions, a lot of knowledge back and forth. But really, what it boiled down to after I asked those questions, what is the state of boxing to you guys, and how do you want to see it improve? And that's the temperature I'm trying to take, because everybody has a complaint or a gripe, or they want to see something. But rarely do we have a focus on the state of boxing. I think we talk about smaller issues, but where do you want the state of boxing to go? That's my question.
Good question, man. Hey, Alexander Wilson, you HBCU, dog? Hey, that's what's up, man. That's why I support you as well, man. Appreciate that, man. I'm glad you say you went through an HBCU. That's what's up, man. Yes, sir. There's a lot of honest Johns in HBCUs, man. KQKC boxing is great context. I'm always enjoying. That's what's up. Hey, man, this is where I want boxing to go. I want every boxing channel. I want every channel but one to fail. I like if I could just have one wish, it would be for every person that televises boxing except for one to fail. That's what I would want, because that way you would have to have the best fight the best.
What's
You'd
that
have
one?
to. You'd have to. Everybody but one. I don't care who it is. Just one. One channel, one sanctioning body. One channel, one sanctioning body. If you have one body and one sanctioning body, you're going to have a whole lot of politics. They're going to have to work each other out. But you're not going to have a situation like you have now, where literally, because of the way this content is going, the word content, people are they want a lot of something. There's a lot of boxing going to happen in 2019. A lot of more boxing on less networks, says Woolbag. There's a lot of boxing going to happen in 2019. I think there's going to be a record amount of boxing happening next year. Record amount. Between HBO, between Showtime, Showtime's got like 3. They have enough to do 3 fight cards a week for the entire year. Then you got DAZN, who have a lot of dates, not a lot of fighters, but they got a lot of dates. You had ESPN that's got a lot of dates, not a lot of fighters, but a lot of dates. So we're going to be able to see a lot of fights on TV next year. But what we're not going to get, more than likely, is we're not going to get these fights next year. We're not going to get Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. We're not going to get Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. We're not going to get Vasyl Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia. We're not going to. At 140, we probably will get either Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor, or Regis Prograis versus Baranicek. But that's because they have no choice. It's in a tournament. They have to fight each other. We're more than likely not going to get Canelo Alvarez versus Charlo, or Demetrius Andrade, even secondary ones like Demetrius Andrade versus Daniel Jacobs, right? Because of what Eddie Hearn said. Number one, you got a lot of dates, so you got to fill those fights. You got to fill those dates, and getting your best fighters knocked off ain't going to help you do that. And people like Eddie Hearn don't believe boxing fans. They don't care about hardcore fans. They care about the casual fans, and they believe that they can sell them anything. Like Derek Chisora versus Dillian White. Derek Chisora versus Dillian White on pay-per-view, and on BT side too. Josh Warrington versus Carl Frampton. Those are indictments on boxing, because neither one of those fights need to be on pay-per-view. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury is for the lineal heavyweight championship of the world. It's the UK versus United States, and it is a rare occurrence that we get that. We'll probably get a lot more next year, but it's rare for this year. Anyway, so that's my take on it, man. But yeah, we're gonna, just like Chris Dixon said, yeah, we're gonna get a lot of shit next year. But I think Showtime, but HBO, you're gonna see, even with HBO, you're gonna have to see significant number of mismatches. This was the year of the mismatch. I can't count on both fingers, toes, ears, and hairs on my eyebrows how many mismatches there were this year. I think on ESPN, out of every 5 fights on ESPN, 6 of them were mismatches.
Do you think Porter Thurman is a mismatch if it happens in January or February?
No. I never would call a unification fight a mismatch.
Even with a 2-year layoff from
even with a 2-year layoff, I never, because the unification, if Keith Thurman is the WBA welterweight champion.
Yeah.
He is the champion. So That's what he is. If the WBA stripped him, then I would say, okay, I don't want to see that fight. But Keith Thurman, first of all, Keith Thurman is a world-class fighter. Second of all, he's the WBA champion. And that fight, if that fight happens, it becomes a unification fight. And now we're back to square one with either Keith Thurman or either Keith Thurman or Sean Porter owning the WBA and the WBC. But at least there's not 4 champions, there's 3. So it moves us one step closer to knowing who the best welterweight is. And I don't think it's a mismatch. I think that it is. I think that Keith Thurman's at a disadvantage, but it's not a mismatch. To me, would be Errol Spence Jr. or like Errol Spence Jr. versus Sergey Lipinets, right? That's a mismatch, you know. Anyway, that's how I see it.
Now, do you see the winner of that fight immediately making a match with Errol Spence to unify 3 of those belts, the 3 of those belts? Or do you think there's a fight or 2 in between before they try it?
If taking Sean Porter at his word, depends on who wins.
Yeah.
I'll take Sean Porter at his word that he said if he beats Keith Thurman, then he wants Errol Spence Jr., and then I'll see what it is. I don't think Sean Porter's a liar. Like, I didn't like how he changed his tune from, I'll take the fight into, if this fight doesn't happen. But at least he, within this span of an hour, he said what he said. Now, if he wins, I'll see, we'll see if he wins. If Keith Thurman fights, then no, I don't. I don't see Keith Thurman walking right in the door and fighting Sean Porter and then fighting Errol Spence Jr. I don't see that. So yes for Keith, yes for Sean Porter, and no for Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman has never even acted like he wants to fight Errol Spence, man. So that's my thing. But let me see if we got a question from the panel. Not from the panel, excuse me, from the comment section. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's been training. Yeah, no doubt about that, man. Antonio Mendoza said the sanctioning body should get rid of the rule that says a current title holder cannot become a mandatory for another belt. I don't think that is the rule. I don't think that is the rule, because Jorge Linares became the mandatory for. Was it for Lomachenko? He might have. They made the Linares fight, but I know that Linares was not just the WBA champion. He was also a mandatory for somebody else at 130 pounds. Because I remember thinking that was real funny. It might have been Mikey Garcia. I don't think there wasn't Mikey Garcia. Who had the Lomachenko beat Linares for the WBA. Who are the other champions? You had Beltran. No, you didn't have Beltran. You had Terry Flanagan. You had Terry Flanagan. You had Mikey Garcia. I think he might have been like in the position to be a mandatory for Mikey Garcia. One of the other. It was some way I remember him having been that. But in general, that doesn't happen. And I didn't see that in the WBA rules. And the WBA rules are the ones I'm most familiar with. You know what I mean? Michael John said the rule is that you can't be, but the sanction body can make anyone by a vote of the mandatory. Yeah, you can't. They can order anything. Those rules are so open, dude. So why can't Wilder become a mandatory for AJ? Because he ain't gonna be. Because that's too much like right. Like it's too much like right. Oh yeah, thank you, Brian. Ola said he was a mandatory for Mikey's belt. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, that's what it was. I knew Linares became a mandatory for somebody. So that was the WBA being the WBC mandatory. So they could do it the other way around, where AJ becomes a mandatory for Deontay Wilder if they wanted to. But they can do anything, man, that they want, because it's in the best interest of boxing, you know? Terry Flanagan is at 140 now, but he had vacated his 135-pound belt. Before he moved up to 140, he vacated the WBO 135-pound title. So Terry Flanagan was a champion at the WBO champion before Ray Beltran won a vacant title against whoever the hell that was. He won that vacant title. Oh, against Moise. What's his dude? Paulus Moses. Paulus Moses, who he fought and should have lost that damn fight against. Yeah, it is what it is, man. But look, man, we rolling a little late today, man. Well, actually, man, we right around the time we usually jump off, man. You got anything you want to say, World Breaker Fighting, before we cut out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat room for listening to Fanon and listening to me give our take on boxing. Also, I would like to invite you guys to World Breaker Fighting with me and my co-host Kurt Sugar. We're always talking about something different, not always boxing. Sometimes we delve into other things, but I definitely would like to extend that courtesy to you guys to check us out and subscribe. And I'd like to thank Fanon for having me on today, and look forward to the next time. Mute. You're on mute. Fanon, you're on mute.
Oh shit! All this shit and I've been on mute. All right, let me redo it. Please subscribe to World Breaker Fighting on YouTube, and I want to go through and ask people to please subscribe to Scrapbook Boxing. Scrapbook Boxing, along with Kurt Sugar, along with Lawrence Williams, as well as Retro Boxing and Documentary. They are really true treasures in the sport of box on YouTube Boxing, because they spend their time documenting and extrapolating on the history of boxing. Scrap House Boxing has a series going called The Forgotten Fisticuffs, right? Which is talking about boxers that people that, man, you might not even have thought about in a very long time, man. Like, I got to go to, before I get off, I'm doing this, man, because I really think this is important. And you guys will really enjoy it. Man, he did one on a cat that knocked out the Black Mamba. I had not thought about this dude in years, man. But when I checked this video out, dude, he talked about this cat. Where is it, man? Where is it? Rocky Lockridge. He talked about Rocky Lockridge, a dude who knocked out Roger Mayweather in the first round of I think it was a WBC. Was it a lightweight title or the super featherweight title? I can't remember. He talked about Roger Mayweather, talked about Jimmy Page, Greg Page, and Tim Witherspoon, all in the same video. Great historical conversation, man. Listen to what he says, man. You can YouTube the fights and go watch the fights. And he be like, oh man, yeah, I remember that from when I was a kid. It's just something that's really, really beautiful, man. I enjoy it so much, and I encourage you guys to go to subscribe to Scrapbook Boxing. I always say Scrap House like Doghouse. Scrapbook Boxing. Scrapbook Boxing. Please subscribe. All right, man. All right, cool. Jeffrey just said he just subscribed. That's what's up, man. That's a channel that I'm really trying to help grow, man. I think it's not going to do a lot of talk about political stuff, about that type of stuff that a lot of other channels talk about. And we're not going to get into a situation, I know, where, you know, he's going to lose his mind and run off and do some shit that's really crazy. So I feel very trusting in the fact that I can pub his channel up and not expect the shit to come back and bite me in my ass. So it is what it is, man. I appreciate you again. Hey, I'll give you one last word because I kept you on with my chat so long, World Breaker. Tell them what time are you going to be on?
I come on at 1:30 p.m. generally every day, and I also do an evening show between 8 to 10 o'clock, usually 8 or 9 o'clock during the week. Thursday is Ladies' Night with Shakita, my good friend. Actually trying to involve more females in boxing and in combat sports. But pretty much you can catch me twice a day during the week, live streams on the daily, 7 days a week. So come to World Breaker Fight and check us out. We do the damn thing. Kurt Sugar's in there giving the knowledge, and I'm just doing whatever I do.
All right, that's what's up. All right, y'all. So we'll check you out. I'll probably check you out tomorrow morning. Thank you, everybody. Much love in the super chats. Check out World Breaker later this afternoon. And with that, I'm out. Check you out later, World Breaker. Peace.
All right, peace, bro.